Good morning, everybody. My name is Kirsten. I am here with the Marks Group, and I am here with your monthly Zoho tips and tricks meeting. So today we're going to talk a little bit more about module customization tips. This is something that I started last month, and I'm just going to kind of build on it from there. So today we're going to talk about mapping dependency fields, lead conversion mapping, and stage probability mapping. You just get out of there. I'm going to go over here into my Zoho system. So this is our Marks Group demo system. And to go, we're going to start with go to dependency mapping first. So what we're going to do is go over here into our settings. This is all in module customization. So we're going to start over here in customization under modules and fields. We're going to start today with leads. So dependency fields are basically, depending on what you show in this, depending on what you choose in this one pick list, it's it's going to show what's available in this other pick list. Sounds a little complicated. Let me show you. So let's go in here, and first we're going to go into map dependency fields. Actually, I'm sorry, let's go back out of that. So we can't map dependency fields until we have dependency fields. So let's go into our test layout. In this scenario, I am going to say that we have 3 services available in this company. We've got social media, we've got photography, and we've got copywriting. And for each of those, we have different options available. For example, social media, we have Facebook, Twitter. Photography, we have wedding photography, we have fashion photography. For copywriting, we have newspapers, we have magazines. So the first thing I need to do is actually get those fields in here. So we're going to grab a couple pick list fields, drop them in here. And we're going to call this service interested in. And then our options are going to be social media, photography, and copywriting. Cool. Done and save. There we go. A little bit slow this morning. Let's grab another pick list over here. I'll put it right underneath. And we're going to call this one service type. And our options here are going to be, let's do Facebook. We'll do Twitter, fashion, okay. Whoops. Newspaper and magazine. There we go. This way, when we have, excuse me, when we get a call from a new lead, we now have these options. So when we're talking to our new lead, we're going to ask them what service they're interested in, and then we're going to choose the service type that matches up with the service that they're interested in. And what this does basically is gives them less options. So less in my world is better than more, because it defines those choices. So if somebody's calling and they're saying, I'm interested in social media, wedding doesn't make any sense. So we wouldn't display that if they're not interested in that. So now that I've got these in here, we're going to save and close. And now we're going to go to our dependency fields. So new to get started, our parent field we have to choose. So our parent field is our service interested in. And our child field, the one that we're going to display, is our service type. So here we've got these lovely columns and rows. So our service is interested in is along the top, and our service type is down the side. So if the service they're interested in is social media, what I want them to display is Facebook, Twitter, or none. If it's photography, I want them to be able to display fashion, wedding, or none. And for copywriting, we're going to choose none, newspaper, and magazine. And those are just control clicks on each of those. Once you've got the categories underneath each of the headings that you want selected, we're just going to click save. And let's go out to our leads and see what that looks like. So now when we create a new lead, actually, we're probably going to want to refresh that. Did I refresh it? Go to our test layout. Yep, we got it here. So now if we go to service interested in and we pick social media, you can see that our options are none, Facebook and Twitter. If we choose photography, we've got fashion and wedding. And if we choose copywriting, we've now got newspaper and magazine. So again, the thing that I like about this is that it just limits the options, and not in terms of actually limiting what you can do, but it eliminates some of that noise, that extra stuff in the background that I don't really need, that's not helpful to me, that's not serving my job as a salesperson. This streamlines what I'm doing and gives me the appropriate options to choose from. So that is dependency fields. Piece of cake, and it will save you a lot of time and headaches in the future, which is what I'm all about. All right, what's the second one we got going on? We're going to do lead conversion mapping. So lead conversion mapping is basically same thing. We're going to start with the leads, and you can do this actually in leads. You can do it in quotes, and you can do it in sales orders, depending on what your company uses to get the ball rolling with your new clients. What it does is it takes the information in a lead and it transfers that over into contacts, accounts, and deals. So this is something that you already know, that you're already aware of, that happens automatically anyway. So if you put somebody's name in there and then you convert it to an account or a contact or a deal, that information is going to go over. But what won't happen necessarily all the time is any custom fields that you put in there. So those custom fields you're going to want to map over. So we're going to go again back into our customization. We're going to go to modules and fields, and we're just going to stick with leads on this one. So with leads, again, first and foremost, you got to pick something, or you got to put something in your layout to actually choose from. So in this one, we're going to go back into our test layout. So with our leads, we've got, and actually we're just going to stick with our service interested in and our service type. We want that to go over into the deal. So what we need to do is have it in our leads, which we do. We have service interested in and service type. And we're going to need to put that information into our, we've got it called opportunities in here. So opportunities, deals, whatever you call it. We're going to go into our standard layout. And the important thing about this is that you have to match up the field types. So if I've got a pick list and a lead, I can't map that over into a single field in an opportunity. So it really is very dependent on the type of field that you're putting in. And another thing that will help you out a lot, and it will actually sometimes force it to pick them up automatically, is naming them exactly the same and having exactly the same values. Zoho likes that. So we're going to do service interested in. And again, we've got, sorry, I've got my little cheat sheet going on here. So social media, got photography, and we got copywriting. Excellent. And then grab another pick list. We're going to call the service type. We'll do Facebook. Better wedding. Whoops. Spell. Fashion. Newspaper and magazine. So what this will do is it eliminates my need to enter this information in a second time. CRMs are supposed to make our life easier. What makes my life easier is not having to enter that information in multiple times. It's just there, I put it in once, and it transfers over into the appropriate spots in the next module that I want it in. So this way, when you're collecting, whoops, no, save and close, save and close. This way, when you're putting in that information initially, it's just there when you come over. It's a very handy thing. So now that we have that in both our leads and our opportunities, we're going to go back into the leads and map it over. So it always starts in either the lead or the quote or the sales order, depending on where you're mapping it out from. So it starts there and it transfers up into your contacts, into your accounts, and into your deals. So we're going to go back to we did that in our test lighthouse. We're going to do our lead conversion mapping. Let's see, test layout, we're going to do standard, we'll do standard, and we'll do standard. So as you can see, the field mapping here, a lot of this has been all mapped for us by the system. So it knows what it's looking for. Anything that we have that is a custom field is going to be denoted by this little star. And as you can see, those are the fields that it doesn't necessarily always pick up. So we're going to want to, in this one, you can see that we don't have those matching fields. We have other fields that have the same type of, or same field type, such as a pick list, but we don't have any values for those. So we're going to go down to our services interested in and our service type. So we've got that on our leads. And then again, this is our contacts, our accounts, and our deals. Service interested in, service type doesn't really match up with my account or my contacts. So I haven't put those in those, but I've put them in my opportunities. So we're going to go over here and pick our service interested in, and then our service type. We're going to save. And then what will happen is, and I'm actually not going to go through it right now, unless throw your hand in the air if you want to see me actually go ahead and set that up. But what will happen is when I go into, when I create a new lead and I put in that same information, when I say they're interested in social media and what they're interested in is Twitter, what's going to happen is that information is going to float over into the new opportunity or the new deal that I've created for them. So very handy. I'm a super huge fan of not doing the same work again and again and again, because that's just no fun. So that will help you out with that one a lot. Okay, now I can't remember what's their next thing. Stage probability mapping. I love stage probability mapping. And I love it because what happens is our stages, so the stages that come built into Zoho CRM are pretty generic. And I don't think I've ever met a client, even I myself in my own CRM, which I do use Zoho as my own personal CRM. The stages in there don't match the actual stages of my business process. So what I've encountered most is that people continue, once the deal is closed and won, it doesn't necessarily mean it's done. It's one, it's done, I don't have to look at it anymore. They actually have situations where they're continuing to work with that client. Are they building something for them? Are they shipping something else? So there's multiple stages that it can go through beyond that. And there's also stages in the middle that don't necessarily match up with what Zoho has in the system. So what this will do is this will determine, based on the stage that that deal or opportunity is currently in, what's in your pipeline. So based on how strong this lead or how strong this deal is, how far it's gotten through the process, it'll show what my expected revenue is in my sales pipeline. So let's take a look at it. Actually, it's easier to just look at it. So we're going to go to our stage probability mapping. So it's in our opportunities. Apologize, mine is called deals. I'd never find it. So in our standard view, right here, we've got our stage probability mapping. And click on that. These are the ones that are pre-built into Zoho. So we've got our stage name, our probability percentage, forecast type. So the stage name, none is silly, so we'll ignore that. We've got qualification here. So qualification is the name. That's what's going to be displayed in your system. We've got this include it in the pipeline. So the times that you would want to include it in the pipeline is if it is showing up in your sales pipeline. This is your expected revenue. You want it to be seen. You want it to be tracked. You want it to be able to be reported upon. This is why you'd put it in the pipeline. If it's closed, it's out of the pipeline. So we're no longer looking at it. We've gone past that point. We've gotten that money. We're done with it. We didn't get that money. We're done with it. Either way, it's now closed. Omitted would be any time that you don't want to see that, but it's not necessarily closed. It's just not in your pipeline. And there are different scenarios that you might want to take that on. If services are not something that you want to see in your pipeline, if they don't count towards your actual revenue, then that's something that you might want to put as omitted. Excuse me. So your probability is the percentage of the amount of the deal that is going to be showing. So if my probability is 10% here, that means if my opportunity is worth $100, it's going to show up as $10 when it's in the stage of qualification. Then our forecast type is pretty obvious. Either it's open, which means I'm still working on it. It's not won yet. It's not lost yet. Closed won is yay, I got the sale, and closed loss is boo, I did not get the sale. So to create a new one, you can come in here. Let's say needs analysis is not really anything that I've ever used in my company's lingo. So this is really about build it to match you. And this is one of those things that I always recommend really thinking about this. Like really think about what your stages are. Think about the words that you use in your company. Think about your processes and build this to suit you. This is, again, customize, but you customize to make it work for you. That's the thing you like about Zoho, is that it's so flexible. So instead of needs analysis, we'll actually say this is so we've qualified needs analysis. So we're going to do assessment. That's a word that we use in our company. And once they reach the level of assessment, which apparently I didn't spell right. I'm not a great speller. So once they've been in an assessment, we're going to say that they're actually a 30% chance that we're going to win that deal. We're going to keep that in our pipeline and we're going to keep it open. So the other thing that we're going to go in and do here is that negotiation review. So we put out a proposal price quote. And what we want to actually do here is we're going to do negotiation review. So I apologize. So we've got closed one, and I'm going to go ahead and add another one in here, which is in progress. So that's going to be a step actually in between our negotiation review, our closed one. We're then going to have in progress. We'll put that in our pipeline. We're going to put that at 100% because we've won it. It's just still in progress. So we're going to put it as closed one. All right, let's save that action. And then go and see what it looks like in our opportunities. Let's grab a new opportunity. Our standard layout. We're going to put the amount is $100. Opportunity name is tested opportunity. Account name, you can use my favorite, which is Barksella Clothing Company. And our closing date is going to be at the end of this week. And our stage is currently in qualification. So as you can see, this does the math for you, and it actually locks you out. So you cannot change the amount that's in here based on what you've put for your stage and the probability that matches that. So once you've put in that $100, you can change the $100 and this will change with it, but you can't manually change the expected revenue that's in your pipeline once you set your stages. Excuse me. So we've got it at qualification, we've got it at 10%, and we've got it at $10. We're going to save this. There we go. So now, as you see, I can go in and I've got my, I'm sorry, I've got this on a blueprint. So I actually have to walk through the steps. So if I go to needs analysis, I have to make a note, whatever. I can win the deal, I can lose the deal. I don't have this built into my blueprint. Oh, I did not foresee this. So we'll go back and edit. That'll get us out of the blueprint. That won't get us out of the blueprint. So I apologize. I didn't realize I had that blueprint in there. But basically what will happen is if I choose that stage of assessment, then it's going to go and it's going to change to whatever I put that at, 20%. And it'll show $20. And then if it's in progress, so if I've won it and it's in progress, it's going to show as $100, but it's going to take it out of my sales pipeline. So I'm no longer looking at that revenue as potentially coming down that line. I've already won it and it's been omitted from my pipeline, but it's still showing that it's open. Excuse me, not the corona, just dying. All right, so let's get out of there. And that's basically what I got for you today. Anybody have any questions? You want to raise your hand? You want to chat with me? I'm happy to take any questions. Go into more detail on anything that you need. Yep. All right. If you do come up with questions later, you can email us at support@marksgroup.net. You can also email me directly. It's Kirsten@marksgroup.net. Don't email us with just your questions or ideas, thoughts, questions, suggestions, anything that you need help with. Just shoot us an email. We're happy to help you. You can also check out our YouTube channel where we got lots of videos, lots of tutorials. We cover things beyond just Zoho CRM. We'll cover things like projects and inventory and forms, all sorts of other things in there that you can take a look at. It's a great channel. And then you can also sign up for our blogs and our newsletter. We do blogs on a weekly basis, more than weekly. We do blogs on general business. We do blogs on Zoho. We do blogs on other CRM systems that you might be interested in if you want to check those out, if you haven't made a decision yet. And then we also put out a monthly newsletter, which is really actually pretty fantastic. I highly recommend signing up for that if you're interested. And you can also join me again next month. I'm here once a month doing a webinar for you on the last Tuesday. And I will see you again next time. And everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.